Welcome to the Soccer Huddle. This is your boy Mujero Waiti, just an ordinary guy discussing the beautiful game, discussing Kwiliamoto as I know it. What an action-filled weekend. We saw two of England's oldest giants coming from a losing position to finally winning a match, and the Gunners lose ground as well on the top spot. Some might say it's actually early, but two crucial points lost again at the Emirates Stadium. Manchester City having to dig deep to get a point away from Sheffield United, but in actual fact, they did it the way Manchester City do it. And Chelsea's Pochettino finally registered a win under the belt. We discuss that and more on the Soccer Huddle. Pochettino's men kick-started off the weekend on Friday with a convincing 3-0 win over Luton Town at the Bridge. Sterling gave a fantastic performance. Since Atomago Chelsea, I think has been one of his best performance in the Chelsea shirt for me, and I say this because I've been saying this, that the game they played against Westham as well was the kickstart of it, because you could see against Westham he was making runs, he was taking on his players, he was moving onto the ball line, he was putting crosses in, cutbacks, and you could actually see, or he's trying to get to his best. He's trying to get to the Sterling Moko Manchester City, trying to take on his man, giving assists to his teammates, and actually even scoring goals. We saw, I don't think, does it count as an assist? The pass, yeah, Enzo to Sterling, the last, I think, yeah, it's the last goal, yeah, Jackson. Like, guys, the ball control, he picks it up and then he just passes a ball to Sterling. I think that was good. I think Chelsea on the night looked like a team that would fight or who would compete for the league, even the top four, if someone might say, to top five. Because I think we've already established already this season, the EPL would get about 5 spots in the Champions League. So a top 5 team, they seemed, but one would argue as well and say, they were playing against the Luton team that has been promoted from the championship, and a lot of people have actually put them in the third 3 positions that would actually go back down to the championship, the relegation spots, and they've only played 2 games. Last week's game, they were supposed to play against their fellow a promoted team, Burnley, and unfortunately their stadium is not ready yet, so they had to postpone that game. So this has been their second game of the EPL back into the Premiership, and they've lost both. And unfortunately, they met a Chelsea team, for me, that was determined to get the results that we've seen. A game Liverpool, they were there, they tried. West Ham, they came short at West Ham because of obviously, I wouldn't say West Ham wanted it more, but they took their chances. But you could see that Chelsea was also playing, and they were unlucky to lose. They were unlucky to lose for me at West Ham. Not taking anything away from West Ham, but I think we're starting to see now Pochettino getting his instructions in Chelsea, getting how he wants his team to perform under his regime, and hopefully it's a start of good things to come for Pochettino. He said he's still looking in the market. I don't know, the man, how much money does he have? Can he just borrow us, Man United, just 50 fella, just 50. We just need 50 from Man United just to go buy 2 players. That's it. 50 gain, maybe 100. Spore us 100, Pochettino, man. We need all the cash we can do for Man United, because you can see we can't buy players, we can't buy players, we can't even sell players, because when they leave, the one royalty checks and all that. So, anyways, out of some Man United, we're still discussing Pep Poch, not Pep Poch, and yeah, a start of good things to come for Chelsea. We Chelsea fans certainly hope so. and also us, just for the entertainment and the competitiveness of the EPL. We would want Chelsea as well to be back on top, because the more teams we have, the more likely Manchester City would get a competition on the league titles. Because the way it looks like this season, and like Manchester City would have the win one already ka Christmas. And I'm not saying they would, but it is most likely because they are an well-oiled machine already. They sold 3 players, they bought in 5. So make your mind on it. But I'm not saying anything can happen in the EPL. We've seen this in recent years already. The EPL, it is not given. As much as Manchester City are dominating it, but in those years they've been dominating, a team took them to that final week. A team took them to those final weeks of winning it. They had to dig deep because that team was in competition with them. Last season it was Liverpool, it was Arsenal. The other season was Liverpool. The other one was Chelsea. So we need them to keep them on their toes. They must not get too comfortable in our league. Otherwise, they're gonna make it a farmers league. But some would say it's already a farmers league. But anyway, so they went to Bramall Lane to play Sheffield United, which I thought that manager almost got it right for about 60 to 50 minutes. His tactics worked. They kept City in, and they kept Haaland quiet until he got a penalty and he missed it. But they thought that was the end of it, and it wasn't. He came and he scored, and they ended up winning comfortably 2-0, or is it 2-1 or 2-0? 2-0 scoreline, Manchester City. They didn't play well on the day, but it's the result that counts. They won that game. And I think that is what we need to take out from Manchester City, especially as Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal, whether you're Newcastle, Chelsea, and Brighton, whoever wants to challenge Manchester City. It is not always that you have to play nice and attractive football, but you need to get the points. As I said, in my intro, Arsenal lost 2 crucial points, which those 2 points might actually be the difference between them actually challenging for the league title or challenging for 5th position. And you could see Manchester City didn't play well on the day, but they actually won the game, grinding the result. And that is what you win championships with. Those clean sheets also matter as well. I think one of the years, Sir Alex said, the great Sir Alex said, defenders wins you leagues, strikers wins you games. And if you can keep a clean sheet, it's because of your defenders and your keeper, which can actually win you a league, which we saw as well. Come Man United, I'll have to get out of this one because that's the only thing I can brag about Man United. Last season, our season was based on our defense. We kept the most clean sheets in the league, and which actually allowed us to go compete for that 3rd position, where many people wrote us off. I was also one of them, saying that Erik ten Hag's first season, I would, if I was number 5, it's an improvement from the previous season, especially with the players that we had at the time, or we still have some more. Yeah. So it will be an accomplishment if he goes above 5th position. So yeah, as I was saying, if you went above 5th position, it would actually be an improvement from the previous season that we would have as Man United. But yeah, anyways, let's move on to the next. Obviously, Manchester City at Sheffield United 2-1. A shaky result, but nevertheless, it's those results which will count at the end of the season when you look back and you're like, oh, we could have dropped 2 points there, and we actually came out with 3. So take lessons. Whoever is chasing City, take lessons. Those games are very important. So we go to Man United, obviously, playing at home against Nottingham Forest. I remember I didn't see the game. I actually watched it after and look at the highlights after that. I was away. Someone sent me a screenshot. 4 minutes in, he sent me a screenshot. 14 minutes in, and the score was 2-0. I was like, what? In my head, I was like, Erik ten Hag. He's getting the sack. In my head, I was like, Erik ten Hag, the English media are going to have a field day with him. Then after a while, I'm like, let me check. Maybe we lost 5-0. Let me check the scoreline. And only to find out, sorry about that. Only to find out that we won the match. Actually, we won it 3-2. From behind, we scored 3 goals against Forest at home. And grand out result. And I would say they caught us by me. Like they caught us. We were still in the game. I think the other goal, Rashford and Anthony and the keeper could have done better for the first goal. And the second goal, obviously, Kitsana Taylor, we can't like those goals. But the first one, I thought Rashford could have done better. He could have tackled the player, or he's got pace. He's got pace. He could have run that guy, and Onana should have done better as well. But anyways, it's fine. But then they came back, led by their captain, fantastic Bruno Fernandes, and they grind out the result, and we won the game 3-2. But that's the problem with Man United. We concede goals this season. We are being outplayed and we are being outmuscled in the middle of the park. But this game we had Eriksen. I thought we had Eriksen. We would have our midfielder last season because the partnership, yeah, Eriksen, Bruno, and Casemiro, for a while, they haven't lost a game while they started the 3 of them. We haven't lost a game. I thought like, oh, we're going back to basics. We're going back to a familiar place that we were before. I thought we were gonna Forest are gonna come to us and it's gonna be an easy win for Man United because remember coming this weekend we play against the Gunners. So it was like 3 points in the back, then we go look and focus on the Gunners. So given that performance, the second half performance or the performance after the 2-0 scoreline, I am very confident going to the Gunners if we can play like that. But if we can play the same way we played against Wolves, if we can play the same way we played against Spurs or Emirates, how are we gonna get a hammering? I'm telling you, as much as Arsenal are busy dropping points at the moment, but against Man United, against one of their biggest rivals, I remember now, I think it was today, 8 or 12 years back, we beat them 8-2 Old Trafford. I'll never forget that day. 8-2. Van Persie scored the 2 goals and we went on podium the next season. So anyways, so if we play like that for Emirates, I fancy us to get a draw or even a win. But if you play like the way we played against Wolves and Tottenham, I think Arsenal are going to run away with it. And Arsenal have got that horsepower in the middle. Unless Arteta does something weird. Unless he does something weird. Coming to Arsenal's game against Fulham, they drew 2-2. Where Paulinho scored in the 80-something minutes to level it up and get a point for the away team. And Arsenal scored a controversial goal, the second goal, because is it Bices or the guy who got a red card? Let me check him out. He was fouled by Saka. He was fouled by Saka. If you look at that replay, I know a lot of Arsenal supporters already then I sugar fuck them. They're already fine with me. But if you look at it, if you look at the replay, Saka actually pulls that guy's hand to the ground. That's actually a foul. I think he was looking for a foul, but in actual, he fouled the other guy, the opponent, Bassi. Yes, Bassi. So he fouled them, and instead of the referee giving a free kick, he says play on. And Arsenal went on and scored. But from that game, leave the fouls, leave the red cards. There's a player that I would like to single out. Patrick Vieira, wow. Coming from the bench, he made a huge difference to that Arsenal team. I think, for me, if Noko Nahal or a substitute man of the match, I would give it to him because he deserves it. From the minute he got in, he won the penalty. And then for the second goal, he's the one who made the pass to Nketiah. So I think he played very well. And I am still struggling to find out why he doesn't make the teams as often as I would hope he would. And I think it comes down to Arteta as well. I think Arteta these days, I think he tries too much. He tries too much. He plays Partey right back, whereas you have Ben White. You still have Zinchenko on the bench. You still have Tomiyasu on the bench. But you still play Partey, whose best role is playing in the middle of the park. And you still play him at right back. Like, I don't understand what he's trying to do. Maybe he's trying to do what Pep is doing with what Pep did with Stones. Maybe that's why. But I think it's not working out for Arsenal. I think he should leave it. Go back to basics. They almost won the league last season. Go back to that formation. Build from that. Don't try anything fancy. Build from that and go forward. I think the other problem is he's trying to find a place for Havertz. I don't know Havertz or Gallagher in the Arsenal lineup. I'm still surprised. I'm like, maybe let me know what you think as well in the comment section. What do you think Hazard fits? Not Hazard, Havertz fits in that Arsenal team? Because I am yet to see where he fits in. Is he a number 9, false 9, and number 10, and number 8? Because I think the reason why Pat is playing right back, he's trying to fit Havertz in, obviously, because of the price tag. You know the price tag these days, they make coaches because they want to prove to you guys, this is why I bought him. And sometimes it doesn't work out. It doesn't work out. They lost 2 crucial points at home to Fulham. Now, Sunday night, Newcastle versus Liverpool. Before I give any praise to Liverpool Football Club, they're my biggest rivals, but I'll give them praise where it's due. But I want to say to Newcastle, if you're watching, Eddie Hall, I hope you are. I hope you are. Hi, Eddie Hall. What are you doing, Eddie Hall? What are you doing? What is it that you're trying to do? I think when Arteta, you need to just sit down and have a reality check. Like, what are you guys trying to do? You had a winning formula. You just needed to build from there and go forward. But now you are starting to do things that also surprises us. Like, what are you guys doing? Last week, you're playing against Manchester City. You let them come to you. You let them run to you. You gave them all the respect. Like, you can't go into a football match and be like, already we are beaten. Like, what are you doing then? Why are you competing if you're already accepting defeat without even laying also Tomalo match? I think that's what he did last week. This week against Liverpool, he had an upper hand. Van Dijk got a red card. He should have gone for it. I still don't understand why Eddie Howe, when he makes his substitute, he makes them in threes. He takes out Tonali, he takes out Gordon, he takes out Isak. He puts in Wilson, Harvey Barnes, and is it Leicester? Let me see. Wait. Let me get this right. But he takes out those 3 substitutes every single game. At City, he did the same thing. At Liverpool, he did the same thing. And I was like, why would you take out your holding midfielder? It doesn't make sense. Where have you seen Pep answer Rodri? Or Arteta answer Rice? Or Ten Hag answer Casemiro? Unless if they are protecting them from something. Not taking them out to put in someone else because you want to make the team, you want to make all the players happy. Because I think that's what is happening here. He's trying to make everyone happy. So he for me, gets his substitutes wrong. I don't know what you guys think about this, but he always takes out those 3. Let me look for the name, guys. The name of the guy that he puts in after that. It was, who's that guy? Longstaff. Always. Callum Wilson, Harvey Barnes, Longstaff. Out for who? For Tonali, Anthony Gordon, and Isak. Those 3 subs, he never misses. He always makes those subs. What is he doing? I don't know. Anyways, I don't know Eddie Hall. I think Eddie Hall, I don't know what is he trying to find that he couldn't find pre-season. But it's just weird. Liverpool, from a man down, from a goal down, and putting in one of the players that a lot of people don't even rate, a lot of people don't like, Nunez, coming on from the bench and scoring 2 crucial goals for Liverpool to get Liverpool that 3 crucial points that Jurgen Klopp would actually be wanting. So now does he raise his hand to start the next game? It's another question. Does he raise his hand to start the game? Jota hasn't given them anything since he started. Sorry, Gakpo, maybe he's been played out of position, but for me also hasn't delivered. And Mo Salah, trust me, I have him in my fantasy team. So trust me when I say he hasn't been the Mo Salah that we know of. He has been he's been playing, he's been giving us average games, but we don't know Salah kind of average games. We know Salah as the superstar, hence why the Saudis are now wanting to give him those big bucks. But unfortunately, his manager says he is not going anywhere. Anyways, before I end it, I just want to go back to my surprise match of the weekend. I know already people have already started commenting. They know what I'm talking about. My surprise, West Ham going to the Amex Stadium and coming away with the 3 points. 3-1 scoreline. 3-1 against Brighton. Buffett, I don't think you understand what I'm saying. Let me tell you the stats of that game. The stats of the Brighton versus West Ham. Alright, so shots 25 for Brighton, 12 for West Ham. 12 shots on target, 10 for West Ham, 10 for Brighton, 7 for West Ham. Listen to this. Possession 78% to 22. Look at the passes. 749 to 208. That is what we call, ladies and gentlemen, smash and grab. West Ham did a smash and grab on Brighton at their home turf, Nohan. This Brighton team is playing Manchester United in 2 weeks' time. Little wonder why I'm saying this, for me, was the surprise results for the match.